Aloha and welcome to another episode of the Hawaii Vacation Connection podcast. I'm Bruce Fisher.
How's it going? I'm Lanai.
We got a great podcast for you today. You're booking a hotel room, right?
Yep.
So what are some of the things that you need to remember when you're booking that hotel room? Is that too long of a podcast title?
No, of course not, because I think it's significant. We got to thank the guys at Star Advertiser. Also, we got to thank Hawaii.com for sponsoring the show.
Yes, the podcast is brought to you by Hawaii Aloha Travel and these fine people.
Yes.
And we've got a lot to talk about here. And in a little while, we're going to be talking to Simeon Miranda. He's with the Embassy Suites in Waikiki. Have you stayed there?
Oh, no, I have stayed there. It's cool. We did it like 5 or 6 years ago.
Right. And, that's right in the beach walk area.
Yes.
Do you remember what the beach walk was like back in the old days?
No, I'm not that old.
You are too.
What are you talking about? Back in the day, there used to have stagecoaches that go through there.
Not that far back. I'm not talking about that far.
No, but
back.
Most of the
before
hotel
they were, before they had the beach walk. I remember it.
Yes.
You have to remember.
I remember
it was
it.
classic down there. And
the Don Ho showroom after it was at the Hilton was down there, and I did my first stand-up comedy there with Andy Bumatai. That was 25 years ago.
Yeah, that was the Polynesian Palace.
Polynesian Palace.
Wow, you performed in the Polynesian Palace.
Every weekend. For like a whole summer. It was the first time I did comedy.
Wow. So you do have memories there. It's quite different now, isn't it?
Very different. Yeah, beautiful now.
Yeah. So Simeon will be here.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about that kind of stuff.
Sounds good.
And so let's talk about it. These are kind of 8 things that I've come up with that you need to remember before actually booking your hotel room. First thing is the placement of your room. When you're going to a hotel.
I thought you were going to say like you need an ID.
You do need an ID.
What you're talking about, like important things to make your vacation good, not the logistics.
Not the logistics.
All right.
Okay,
I'm on the same page as you now.
Yeah. Well, now you're probably explaining for everybody what this is about.
Yeah. No, it's good though. It's good.
All right.
So
yeah, because these are things that come up for me.
I do it all the time.
Yeah, like where you're going to stay.
Yes.
Like, is it near like an elevator and an ice machine?
Yes.
That kind of thing.
You know what I request?
What do you request?
I ask which floor is not full.
Which floor is not full?
And they'll go, this floor number 7. And I'll say, can I have the last room on the floor?
That's a really good one,
Of course.
That's a good one.
Because it's usually a corner room.
Right.
And there's no noise.
There's no noise.
Yes.
So think about the placement of your room, and it's something that we help folks navigate, things that you just don't remember to do. So remember the placement of the room.
Let me ask you this. When they book a room, do they book from the elevator going out or from the out going in?
What they do is they work with name lists. Whatever name lists, they don't assign rooms. People have reservations.
Yeah.
So it's almost like your room is assigned the day of. So
but you know what I mean, right?
I don't know. I don't know whether they start in the middle and go the way out.
But you know why I asked that?
I don't know.
My theory is if it's the furthest room, that was the last room used, so it's more clean.
Another good one.
I always think of that. I've been doing it for years.
Do you have OCD or something?
A little bit, because it's the less used room.
That's true.
Yeah. So I've been traveling during COVID.
Yeah.
So the first time I stayed at the Westin about 4 months ago, I told the lady there was only 5 rooms at this Westin. I said, "How many floors are you guys opened up?" She goes, "Oh, all of them, but we're only putting everybody in the first 2." And I said, "Why?" She said, "Easier to clean." And I said, "Could I get the 5th floor?" She goes, "Yeah, if you want." And I said, "I want the last room in the hall." She goes, "I don't think anyone's been in that room for like 3 months."
Perfect.
And I said, "Perfect, give it to me." That's how I book my rooms.
That's good stuff, Lanai.
Thank you.
That's good stuff. I like that. Okay. The other thing is, can you be placed in a high floor? Like for Hawaii, it's better. I think it's better to be at a high floor.
Oh, and if it's a view, of course.
Yeah, I always ask my clients.
Yeah, if you're staying, I think if you're staying in a city that it's not really known for its view, then it doesn't matter. But if you're staying in Hawaii, New York,
right.
But
if it doesn't have an elevator, then you don't want to be very high.
No, it's an old hotel.
It's an old hotel. And usually, hotels that don't have elevators are only like 3 stories, 3 or 4 stories. How about this? You know how we have city view, ocean view?
Yes.
A city view room, you can get a nice city view room, but it still doesn't face the street. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for instance, the Aston Waikiki Beach Hotel.
Yeah.
You can get a city view room, but if it's further back a little bit, it's less quiet.
And
it's more quiet.
And I think our city room views are beautiful because we have the mountain range,
right,
which is lush and green, which most people don't. And then the other thing is when you talk about, like, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, but partial water or partial ocean they call
view.
it.
Yeah.
it's kind of deceiving because partial could mean I can see the ocean, but it's
we've done whole
beach.
shows about it. We've
Yes,
actually done
yes.
whole shows about it because a partial ocean view means that, you have to go out to your lanai
and
look
see
out,
the ocean.
like
yeah.
here. You know
Doesn't
what I
mean you can see the beach.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that you can see
Yeah.
the beach at all.
Yes.
No. And that's why when you're talking about a city view room, I think the general rule of thumb is stay away from the street. Don't have it,
Yeah.
you don't want to have the street
And
noise.
you don't want to be like under the 5th floor on a street. I
Right.
think.
And something that you touched on earlier, you see, being put in a renovated room.
Yes.
Or a room that hasn't been occupied
Yes.
in a while. In Hawaii, there are a lot of hotel rooms, and you'll see partial ocean view deluxe
Yeah.
and just partial ocean view. What does the deluxe mean?
The deluxe is usually you get one of those small couches.
No, it's
with,
renovated.
yeah.
Generally,
Oh,
when you see
renovated.
that
Yeah.
word, deluxe, it
Yes.
generally means that they've replaced the furniture, they've done some refreshing. So ask if you can have that. We always ask for you. So, if you're using a travel advisor like me, I'm going to be looking out for you. But if
Yeah.
not, you should be asking these things. You want to be placed in the hotel away from large conferences.
Yes.
The bar downstairs or adjacent to the bar, because noise can interfere
Yes.
with your sleeping.
Yes.
So-
I agree on that one. That's why I always take the end room for sure.
You may not be part of this party that's
Yeah.
going on downstairs. Here's a big one. What about Wi-Fi at properties?
Oh, you need Wi-Fi. I think
Yeah.
everyone does though already.
Everybody, but do you have it in the room? Is the
Yeah.
Wi-Fi a good connection?
That's always a tough one because you don't know if it's a good connection. You never know it's a good connection till you get into it. So,
Right, or unless you have
Yeah.
a travel advisor, who knows?
But if you're going for business,
yeah,
in Hawaii, you're not usually not coming for business. But if you are going for business, go get a business hotel.
right, and also ask about the reception.
Yeah.
Here in Hawaii, we have pretty good Wi-Fi, but there are certain hotels I know
Yeah.
that are better than others.
Of course.
Some of the newer properties do have better, have routers that are close by, or even routers that are separated, through the
Yeah.
floors. So that's another thing. And I think finally, the last one I wanted to mention. What are the price range differences for views? And this kind of goes to what we were talking about earlier. You pay a lot of money to be in an ocean front room versus, the difference between ocean front and ocean
Yeah,
view.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know? We can touch on that a little bit.
I think ocean front is like if you can see the beach below you.
Yeah, straight
And,
out. to the
Partial ocean view is like we said earlier. You can see the ocean, but you can't see the beach.
Yep. And the point really here is, do you really need that much view? Because they do charge in Hawaii a lot more money for ocean view and oceanfront rooms.
It depends what you're doing. If you're the out and about person, not worth it.
Yeah.
If you're the person that sits and reads a book all day and stays in your
And
room
wants to chill.
and wants to watch a sunset, it's worth it. But in Hawaii, you can watch a sunset from everywhere.
Right. And a lot of times, and I guess the point I was trying to make is to try and ask whether or not how much of a difference there is between an ocean view and a partial ocean view.
Yeah.
Because some of these hotels, they're pretty close, and you can just maybe get a better ocean front room or a better partial ocean view room that puts you closer to the ocean, that kind of thing.
These
All
are
right.
some good tips.
Some good tips there.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to be back here shortly, but what do we got for the deal of the week here?
Oh, the deal of the week. It's a good one. Deal of the week, you guys. Make sure you go to our website, hawaii-aloha.com/promo. The keyword is hashtag it's Hawaii, all right? You can receive up to $200, sorry. Receive up to $200 off your next Hawaii vacation. The deal includes $100 activity credit, which you can use for any of our activities. We also have the $100 on any vacation package booked at $1,500 or more. So pretty easy. Go to our website, hawaii-aloha.com/promo, and then hashtag it's Hawaii. That's the promo code. Easy. We'll be right back with our guest.
Okay, we are back here, and we are here with Simeon Miranda. He's the general manager of the Embassy Suites, located right in the heart of Waikiki and Beach Walk.
¿Cómo está?
¿Cómo está?
Very good.
We were talking about Beach Walk
Yes.
earlier in the segment. Just some of the things that are happening down there, and the Embassy Suites is went through a huge renovation. And we love that property. It's great for families. So we want to talk about that and get your perspective about what's happening down in Wakes these days.
Yeah,
so where do you
how's
want
it
to start?
looking?
How's it looking?
Well, thanks. We just went through a multi-million-dollar renovation that started in March, which really was great timing because of the pandemic happening.
Yeah.
So there were no guests, obviously, and we did one tower at a time. We have two towers, and it worked out really, really well. It's absolutely beautiful. We completed in July. And all our guests that's been there really talks about the sense of place and that feeling you have when you go in there.
Yeah.
So it's a little more modern. There's still that Hawaiian taste of the kapa and tapa. And we use really local artists as well as local designers to create.
That's good. Did you guys? You didn't change the hallway, did you, with all the memorabilia in there?
Not yet.
Oh, you're gonna change it?
Yeah, we.
Yeah.
Well, no, that memorabilia.
Yeah.
will stay.
Yeah, you gotta keep
it's
that.
great.
I love
It's
it.
great
Keep that,
history.
yeah.
It's so cool. You
Yeah.
know, a lot of the hotels when they renovate, they get rid of all the old stuff, but it was kind of like
No,
those are good.
That's
we have a lot
beautiful.
of guests spend time just to kind of see,
Like a museum.
how it evolved.
And that's
Yeah.
where it kind of connects you into the beach walk area,
Right.
You know, which is kind of cool. That you can get kind of cut right through,
Yeah.
and get to the other side
Yeah,
when
and-
you're there.
Yeah, and Rich, you know, Lures is such a historic
Right.
place,
Yes.
and you know that the beach walk really was renovated in 2006.
Yeah,
Right.
before you got here, I was telling him I did my first stand-up comedy in the Don Ho showroom
Oh, wow.
on Beach Walk 25 years ago.
Wow,
And that's
yeah.
where I started my stand-up career.
No, lots of clubs and lots of
Yeah,
bars.
yeah.
And yeah, it was a little more dark then.
Yeah, there was a lot dark. You remember
That's
the
a good way
jazz
to put
cellar?
it.
The jazz cellar, and
Yeah, there was all kinds of cool stuff there.
Yeah, well, I think, you know, that renovation in 2006 just completely changed the complexion there, and the Embassy Suites was built. What did that used to be?
It was really a rebirth of Waikiki, and especially the beginning of Waikiki.
Right.
That really created, a more conducive place to really gather.
Right.
And it really opened it up.
But I'm trying to
Those
remember
two-
the name of the hotel.
The two
that-
hotels. It was a Ohana.
It was
a-
Ohana,
Yeah,
it was
outrigger.
Ohana,
It was two towers.
Yeah.
And basically we kept those two towers and just renovated them. And they were used to be, we call it bays, and so they were really small rooms. So we took two bays and made it a one suite.
Right.
Ah.
So now there's 369 of them, and there's 65 two-bedroom suites. So it's a great concept. You know, if you're a family, a kama'aina, or
Yes.
a military family, and those are the people that are staying currently, it's great because you have a separate living area,
Yeah.
and then you have a separate bedroom. So it's very comfortable for having kids, or if you just want some private time, you can.
I'm gonna have to go
in the
have a
bedroom.
staycation.
I know, it's
Check out the
beautiful
new
there.
room. Yeah.
It's
You do.
beautiful there. And
Yeah.
one of the things that we love about it is for families. It's one of the few properties where you have a little more room. You know, it's very hard to find suites and without spending a fortune of money to
Yeah.
get a suite. And you've got the one bedroom suites, and you got the larger, just the larger rooms
Yeah.
where you've got the two queen beds and then a pull-out sofa.
Yeah,
So-
it's the only all-suite property in Waikiki, and then not only do you have suites, but the amenities that come with it.
Yeah,
Currently
the
right
swimming
now,
pool.
Yeah.
there's the cook-to-order breakfast, and then there's also 2 hours of complimentary beverages.
I think people
Right.
don't realize too when you have a family. If you have a family of 5, if you have a family of 4, it's okay to stay in a room.
Oh, it's the toughest.
But if you have a family of 5, it's hard to get a room in Waikiki without getting 2 rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like the best spot.
It
I always
is.
recommend it anyway.
I
yeah.
do too. It's it's really one of the only choices in some
Yeah.
cases for some of my families because it is a challenge, especially if we have big kids. You know,
Yeah.
16, 15-year-olds. You know, they can't just sleep on the floor.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
and you can invite grandma and grandpa because if you have a 2-bedroom, they can stay in one bedroom. You know, mom and,
And you
dad
do have
in
connecting?
the other bedroom, and then the living area has a sofa bed,
Yeah.
a couch that is a bed, and the kids can be there. So
Yeah.
it can fit.
yeah.
sits comfortably.
Check out this footage. I mean, that's beautiful there. I mean, some of this stuff we're showing here of the renovation. These rooms are gorgeous.
You know, we're really happy with it. We used the artist Delani Tehaney.
Yeah, you respect
And
her.
she basically is known for her kappa art.
Yeah.
And so you have this great kappa art in the living area that really invokes the sense of place. Basically, it's about the streams that used to run under the hotel. And it's a special place called Kabehibehi. And so she created this this art original work that really adds to the suite. And really, again, it kind of complements. If you look at the 2 buildings, there's also kappa art outside of the building exterior.
And you have water running outside of the valet.
Right, we have fountains in
Yeah.
the porte cochere, and then there's also fountains in the pool area.
Yes.
So going back to what you were saying about the military, and you kind of got creative after the pandemic. You started to look at where your focus was going to be because less travelers were coming in here, and you actually are offering you started to offer really good deals for Kama'aina and military. Are those still happening? And then we have this running question for people in the hotel industry right now, which is, why are the rates so high? So answer both of those for us. We'll let you forget the second one there.
Well, you think the rates are high, but compared to how it was in 2019, it's better value currently. So the Kama'aina, the military and government business, and the essential workers really were the only people that were staying in Waikiki because they're going through a transition. Mm-hmm. So of course, all the domestic and international tourism stopped in March. And basically those were the only people that was continuing to come because they were either assigned here in Oahu or they're here because of the pandemic. Right. And so we catered to them. And again, because of the suites, it was more comfortable staying with us in the central location. So you're really close to downtown, to the hospitals and all of that. So it made sense. And then we were always thinking that, we would open up sooner than later. So we thought, okay, maybe by June we'll have some domestic travel. And we were talking about the, negative tests coming in. So that was supposed to be for July, August, and it didn't really come until October.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now we're transitioning.
So difficult.
And now, we're offering the, special rates, continuing to offer the special rates for the military. And then Kama'ainas now, we're hoping staycations are, you need to get away from your home. You've been there for a long time.
Get out the house.
Get out the house.
So we do offer that special rate. And really, those rates haven't really existed probably in the last 2 or 3 years.
No, I agree. It's definitely there are better rates. This isn't necessarily about the embassy. It's just in general. Because you've been asking. You're wondering why is it?
Well, it's kind of like
it seems like common sense just to drop the price and fill the rooms, but there's more to it than that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're in Hawaii. It does cost, and there's things that you have to do special now too because of COVID.
All the extra stuff.
We have the Clean Stay program, where there's major touch points and all the public areas, and even in fact, like in the fitness center, you can work out for an hour and a half, but we take almost 30 to 45 minutes every segment to clean that.
That's right.
in doing all that. And so it
that comes into play with the cost.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm glad you guys are still open.
No, we've been open. We've never closed. And so the renovation happened, and then again we catered to them.
Real quickly, do you know what's open around you? Because I know like Ruth's Chris is the #1 Ruth's Chris steakhouse in the world.
It's open now, but Yard House never closed. So
that's good.
Yard House is doing very good. I mean, again, government, Kama'aina, and all of that. Royce is about to open next week.
That's awesome.
Thursday.
Good to know.
And then we have Taramina as well as
you guys have to visit Taramina.
Yes.
Taramina is great.
Awesome.
Giovanni. So everything there on Waikiki Beach Walk, and our shops, some of our shops are open, so you have to come by and see it. Tory Richards, and some other shops that's on there.
I don't think a lot of people realize how many good restaurants there are right there on that one block.
They're the most successful, like Ruth Chris is #1, Yard House is #1 in the nation, and then Royce also. That was the most
amazing,
heavy trafficked. Royce.
All right, well, so it's open. Get down here and see everything.
Are you guys on social media?
Yes,
you want to mention that?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Sorry.
Embassy Suites Waikiki.
That was
there you go. Embassy Suites Waikiki.
They can stay here all day talking to this guy. All right, that'll do it. That'll wrap it up for my beautiful wife, Yaling. All of us here at Hawaii Aloha Travel, I'll say aloha and mahalo.
Ahuiho.